2023 was arguably not Guy Ritchie's best year, featuring the movie Operation Fortune, which despite the anticipation was a heavy failure, and probably his worst movie ever made, and The Cabinet, which was nothing but an uninspired standard war movie that never stood out. But here in his first movie from this year, Guy Ritchie retains an impressive balance that sends hail to some of his best movies, like The Gentleman, Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, and his standalone King Arthur movie. That's why this movie might revive Guy Ritchie's career, and that's what I will talk all about today. First and foremost, the way this movie is casted, you really feel you managed to build the best type of a Guy Ritchie style movie, because although it is based on a true story, you very much feel that he has formed the characters in his own way, where he does not go as unserious as he did in Operation Fortune, but retains the perfect balance he showed us in The Gentleman. And this movie is really built in the same way, where you see these crazy characters played by the respective actors, where Henry Cavill is the leading star in an ensemble of different crazy characters that he needs to have on his team in order to conduct the operation known as Operation Postmaster, because basically it is all about these characters that are sent in to perform an off-the-books operation to sink the ship called Duquesa. I believe you are easily enticed and easily immersed into the story from the first minute, and although the operation itself is a creation of pure fiction, all the characters are actually real people that have lived in the Second World War, although of course done in the picture Guy Ritchie intends. That's why also this movie really works, unlike his movies from last year, we never feel he was able to make his best work. Also, if we talk about the character Heron, which is perfectly casted by the black guy that plays him, and he is something different than what he did with Bugsy Malone. In Operation Fortune, that was never the right fit for the role, but here he is the complete opposite, where he manages to cast this brutal character that helps the operation with all the resources at his disposal. Even also the mortuary character played by Isa Gonzalez as this devious secret agent is also a perfect fit for this movie. Although of course she may be stronger and more badass than she originally was, but as a frisky little mice or vixen that knows her tricks, she is a fine addition to this movie. If we talk about tension, action, and edge of your seat approach, this movie has all that, and even then, when they are at sea, communicating with the radio or blowing up Nazis, shooting Nazis down, or trying to escape from being captured at the hands of this strict Admiral Pound, the movie is one that really entertains you from start to finish, and you are so locked into this movie, it is hard to turn off the screen. What more than most was his trademark for Guy Ritchie's movies before was how he blended comedy and made these rather devious, cool characters and had a clever touch on it, like in the mentioned The Gentleman or in Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. That is absolutely also the case here, and you see it in the way those crazy characters are presented at the beginning of the movie. The cleverness and sickness in the axe-laying scenes, or the scenes between the devious marjorie or the strict control freak Heinrich Löhr. As a Nazi general not easily led into the web, but as it turns out, actually he was led into the web by this movie, that actually is a Jew gone undercover as a spy. Then again, the scenes between them are done in a playful, cool way that brings a fine comedy touch to this movie, just another reason why it might revive Guy Ritchie's career altogether. Even the Winston Churchill character is done in a joyous, if not, of course, exaggerated way, but the actor that plays him as well, although arguably not a large part of the movie, but even the tough prime minister that stood in some rough water when a lot of people in this movie wanted him to give in to Germany in order to not lose more men in the war. You really then see how brutal and determined he was in his belief that the war could be won even in the darkest hours. Walking into this movie, I had some sort of mild expectations, but as it really turns out, this movie is joyful, it is done with a fine comedy touch, not too serious but not too unserious either. Of course also the tension is a hard reason as to why this movie works, and people may of course think that when it is too much Guy Ritchie, they perhaps do not like it, as some people may like The Cabinet better, but that is no more than a standard war movie, which is not exaggerated in any way, where here you see it is very much more fictionalized. And it just works much better for the entertainment purpose. That's why I will give this an 8 out of 10, and for me, it is the best movie Guy Ritchie has done since The Gentleman came out 5 years ago.